The lobster.
The lobster.
The lobster.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Dungeons and Dragons Waterdeep, 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons Waterdeep Dragon Heist. And happy Valentine's Day for those that are watching this live. For those that are watching this on a VOD, happy Valentine's Day for a few days ago. Yeah. So finally, the group is back together again. What to do with this group?
Not kill us and possibly level us up.
All right. So, anybody care to recap then what happened last time? Because I know that Robin was not available.
Well, we're hanging out in the seedy dock areas, looking for a good time, as we do.
I hear you found one.
We did find one. It was explosive. His boomstick almost went off in my face, but it hit a brick. And then,
worse by the minute.
oh, of course it gets worse. So then we took this poor fool home, and I got him in even more trouble with his wife.
Of course.
Yep. And before that, you guys visited the
We had a ride on the Blackstaff Tower.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we have to explore a deep, dark cave on the side of a cliff to find a monk. Oh, man in the hole.
Yep, just so you can get in cahoots with the head of the city's security. Actually, doesn't sound quite such a bad idea now, does it?
No, it
I
doesn't.
think it sounds terrible.
No, it's a brilliant idea. That way we can be insiders. Speaking of which, my little character is going to have to run to the Dawning Portal and tell our little sun elf friend about the whole Drow assassins.
You guys returned home to sleep for the night, I would assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, actually, before we commence, we should probably do the usual introductions. I'm Velen. I'm the Dungeon Master / Game Master. I'll be running this and trying to kill everybody on the screen up there. And at the top right there of that group of crazy people, we have Robin.
Wait, am I actually being introduced first?
You are.
Vernriker Human. Ranger.
All right. And he's also probably the only one that has any familiarity with this city. And then next to him, we have Lissa and Mr. Monkey.
I am playing Natea Cloudbane. I am an Asmar paladin who was just adventuring around because I can. And then I have this thing that follows me around everywhere. And you are...
Smoke on the horizon, wearing the most awesome shirt ever. Back to Rogue. You know, just doing roguey cat things. That's what I do.
looking for feathers.
Looking for feathers and things to stab.
Stabbing is good.
Mm-hmm. And then next to them, we have Kashka.
I'm playing Grifola, a deep gnome warlock.
Who seems to be very unhappy with her current situation.
Yeah, she's a little bit rebellious. She doesn't like the local authorities much.
Mm-mm.
Nor the Wizards Guild.
Well, they're all part of the same, right? just
Are they?
They're just trying to take Grifola's money, and she doesn't trust them.
They tend to work hand in hand, if only because a lot of the guilds do tend to do so. And Blackstaff Tower, it is kind of like the Wizarding Academy.
Oh, is it?
And she's also head of the city's private security force.
Yeah, I think it's conspiracy.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay, so now that you've all been caught up and you just head back to Troll Skull Alley, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning, or Troll Skull Manor, more importantly. This little picture I've got pulled up here. And y'all get a a good night's sleep. No interruptions, no crazy talking cats, no weird flying bird snakes, nothing, no telepathic messages screaming
Just
in
to
your...
confirm,
No ghosts throwing ashtrays.
our stabby cat is not considered a crazy talking cat.
He is a man cat.
Just confirm.
AKA Tabaxi.
Khajiit.
Not to be confused with the small talking cat that had been seen earlier. So y'all get
Or
a...
Catman, my rival.
So y'all get a good night's sleep. It's a little bit later in the morning than you anticipated, but yep. There you are, waking up, getting some breakfast from your new in-home chef cook. I don't know what you want to call it, Bonnie, who has been redirected here from the from the yawning portal.
Bonnie, look at my awesome shirt.
Says that's leather armor.
What?
She's like, I just, yeah, I get all types when I was at the tavern, but I have to say this place really takes the cake.
We like to keep it interesting for you, Bonnie.
She puts out just some eggs and some, what is it, eggs and sausage and beans. There you go. So it's a weird breakfast for some. It's normal for others. That's what she's got out there. So there you go. Breakfast is served. For anybody that wants it, you eat up. And what are you guys up to today?
Well, need to go to the yawning portal.
Okay. She said, "Oh, you're heading back there. Tell Dernan I said hi."
Sure, will do.
And
Who's turning again?
he's the barkeep. He's the barkeep. So, by what means, excuse me, do you intend to approach the yawning portal?
By air.
I see.
Yeah, we're just gonna walk there. I guess.
Okay. I was about to say, going by rooftop is about as close as I could think for that one.
First step, build a catapult.
Catapult.
That was good. That was good. All right, so you guys head all the way down to the yawning portal, which actually, it being in a city, and there are the drays that will transport you around. They actually are only a copper. For basically, if you're only going about half the city, then it's a copper. If you're going across the entire city, it'll be 2 copper. And I think last time one of you gave one of them either a gold piece or a silver or something, so that the guy happily waited, because you pretty much made his entire day. All right, so you guys arrive at the yawning portal. It's probably around, I don't know, almost lunchtime. It's a little bit late for breakfast at this point. It's like 11:30-ish in the morning. There are some patrons in there, and they're kind of just relaxing. Some of them are having like what look to be like sandwiches. Other people are having like pancakes or potatoes and stuff like that. And they're just kind of chilling out. The place is actually not packed like it usually is at nighttime, but it is rather full midday. Seems to be starting the midday rush at least.
Do I see Davil or Yagra?
Make a perception check. It's very difficult to see in here, and I realize that you're just in a tavern, but just humor me. There you go. You guys are at the yawning portal. Okay. So you look around and you don't see him. You do see some older, gruff-looking guy though that looks like he's a bit out of place. Specifically because he's got a great axe strapped to his back, and it looks absolutely wicked. And this guy
No more
is
crest.
up at the bar, and he's drinking something out of a cup. But
no more crest. No.
first look, you guys don't see any Vagra or Yagra or Davil obviously about, but you'd probably have to like wander around or ask or something like that.
I tell you, look at that axe.
That look, just
no
like,
more
what have you gotten me into, Val? And I'm just gonna kick your butt.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's nice. I'm just gonna walk over and ask somebody about Yagra and them. Those.
Who you gonna ask? You're just gonna walk up to the first bar patron you see?
Yeah, whoever's the barkeep, if Durnham's there, I'll just ask him.
Strangely, Durnan is there. Usually in the morning it was Bonnie before, but it's Durnan right now.
Yeah, I'll ask him if he's seen them, if they're in around here.
Okay, and he'll just kind of like go, who?
You know, Yagra, the half-orc chick, and then son.
he was a half, I believe. Yeah, he was a very handsome half elf.
Really?
No, you say he was a sun elf.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah. Oh, you're right. It was sun elf. Yep. My bad. Sorry, the whole elf thing just threw me off last time. So he says, well, and he just kind of like says, hold on a minute. And he looks actually a bit tired. Like he's not used to being up at this time of day. And he goes into the back, and another like lady comes out, and she says, and she like kind of points around the corner, and he goes, okay, there was a table 6 over there, and none of the tables are marked with numbers. He says, table 6 over there. I think there's a female half-orc over there if you're looking for someone. But you get the general direction that he's kind of pointing, which is like way in the back in the corner.
Okay. Can I like kind of glance out of the corner of my eye at the weird guy that stands out from everybody with the big giant axe?
Mm-hmm. Sure enough.
Wait, what? Is he human? The guy with the axe?
Yes. He's got a short, kind of scruffy beard. He looks like he's in partial armor. He actually looks like he just got back from fighting a beholder and maybe winning.
That's very specific.
You know, I mean, like
Fighting a beholder. Does he have like
he looks
beholder eye?
He looks very like travel or road worn. There you go. And just done. You know, like, I just need to sit down and have a drink. I've had a really crappy like day or 2 days or something like that. That's kind of how he looks right now. But yeah, there you go. Male, human, light brown hair, short, a beard, probably about like mine, actually. A little bit of graying in there.
Okay. I'll just kind of make a mental note, and then I'm like, let's go see if we can find these guys, and walk in that direction where Durnan pointed.
Okay. And you walk around the corner, and there's actually like this tucked in area in the back that you can see that there's like a bunch of people kind of grouped up, and there's actually like a small curtain and stuff. And you've got Yagra is standing outside of the curtain, like she's guarding it.
Just walk up and wave and say hi.
And
hi, Yagra.
She recognizes you and just kind of like holds a hand up. She doesn't make any motion to move towards you, just kind of stands there.
All right, go tell her that we have some We found some stuff on the dock.
Oh, good. Is this about the elven killer?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
So exciting.
And she goes, why don't you, and she points over to this like a booth that has 4 patrons sitting in it. And she goes, have a seat right here. And she just kind of like looks at them and they all stop. One of them's like mid-drink and just look up at her. And she said, I said, and they all just kind of like start getting up really quickly and moving out of the way. And then she says, just have a seat right here. And she like opens the curtain and kind of half steps in. And
Thanks, Yagra.
so she motions for y'all to have a seat, though. Do you guys take a seat at the booth?
Oh, well, of course, it's open.
I'm
So,
just gonna stand at the side of the table.
what's that?
So I'm just gonna stand at the side of the table.
Okay. So she goes in and she says some words inside, and then you can see like from her body, the back side of her body that's moving. It looks like she might be nodding or something. She comes back out. She says, "All right, he'll just be a few moments, and then you can have a chat with Davil." And she just kind of looks at you, seeing that you're standing, and says, "Can I help you?"
I just shake my head.
She says, "Have a seat. It's crowded. People are going to be coming through here in a second."
That's fine. I'm good.
She kind of just gives you this look like,
And so she's got a point, you know. There were people sitting there.
Says, "I didn't see anybody."
Bullshit.
And so after a few moments, unless you guys are doing something else.
Yagra ignores the no.
No. She just kind of folds her arms, and that's pretty much it. She just kind of stands there. And then a few minutes later, a couple comes out. An older guy that seems a little bit bent over, and a woman that seems probably about the same age. And she's kind of like, it seems like she's more of a crutch for him, if anything else. And he has a book under his arm, and they're both kind of just like leaving, walking past. And then Yagra opens the curtain again and says, "Okay, you guys can go in now." And she holds the curtain back for you.
I say, who is that?
And she goes, I don't know. Not my job.
Right. I go sauntering in. Thanks, Yagra. You're the best.
She goes, I know. Do you all go in?
Yeah, I just walk in. I don't say anything. I just.
All right. So, with that, therefore, you see it's a dark area with a very large table, and there's a sun elf that you have all seen before sitting there. It's Davil. He's wearing completely different clothes, all very spiffy looking, and he kind of like pats on the side. It's like the entire thing is circular with for a booth, so you'd all kind of like have to scoot in around a little bit. But he kind of pats the booth cushion and says, "Please have a seat." And he's got a decanter with a lot of glasses that are all stacked up on there. Excuse me. He's got what looks like some wine, some probably some kind of alcohol of other sorts, a little bit stronger. And then it looks like he also may have some water. And he's got a drink of what looks like some kind of mixed drink in front of him. And there's like a couple of lemons and limes, half used, like squeezed or something like that, sitting on the table as well. And he motions to the drinks and says, "Please help yourselves if you'd like some refreshment."
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I have an exciting tale to tell you.
And he kind of sits up a little bit and says, "I'm eager to hear. Do tell."
All right. So while I'm recanting the or recalling the adventure at the dock and how much I really want that boomstick, I'm going to use Thieves' Cant to tell him that the Harpers know that he's in town and that the Greyhands are interested in.
And he actually speaks back in common to you and says, "No need for that here, but I am aware."
Well, you never know who's listening. It happens.
He says, "And I appreciate your candor. So do tell, what are the results that you have? Have you any?"
Well, that drow elf is really, really good at what he does.
And he actually raises one eyebrow and kind of really furrows the other, like he's curious but also really worried. He said, "A drow? Go on."
There's several of them in the docks area that we found. But this one, he had a boomstick, and the thing was loud and it blew a brick out.
And he says, not to be confused with a wand of magic, right?
No. It was an actual physical weapon, and it was very loud. And it probably would have hurt if we got hit with it. It literally knocked the wall out. But he was rather injured, very injured, I might say. So he did get away only because he was able to outrun us. But
That
he was
stupid dark.
Yeah, he had a darkness bubble that we got caught in. Yeah. But we injured him pretty badly, so you may see us stop in the depths for a little bit, but he will be back, I'm sure. But he was very intent on killing this guy.
He says,
And he was a random dock worker, a drunk.
Who was it that his target was?
A random drunk dock worker. Like, he wasn't associated with the ship or anything, or really a company.
His name was Helgar.
Yeah, his name was Helgar, and his wife was really mad.
And he goes, "Did Helgar survive?"
Yeah,
Barely.
yeah, we got him. I mean, he was covered in his own filth, but we got him out.
He says, "Give me one moment." And he says, "Yagra." And her head pops in. And he says, "Check on Helgar for me, would you?" And she goes, "Sure thing." And then you hear some shouting outside, and next thing you know, it's quiet. And he says, "Please forgive that. I just need to double check something. But in the meantime, I don't think that you've encountered dark elves before, have you?" And he kind of looks over at Griffola. Says, "Well, perhaps one of you may have."
Do you know Helga?
He says, "Yes, I do.
Does he work for you?
Once."
Once?
Does he owe you money?
"No, we parted ways. But he's not been of good standing as of recently. Though once upon a time he was someone similar to yourselves who was just trying to make ends meet and do a few errands here and there, working for the Zentarum.
It was the drinking, wasn't it?
That's currently what his problem is. It wasn't then. But nonetheless, I'm glad to hear that he has survived. Now, you said that the Dark Elf had some kind of loud projectile weapon. This does concern me.
Sorry, we have airplanes.
Fair enough. He says, so...
I'll get out. I'll ask if they have a parchment and a pen, and I'll just draw a rough sketch of what we could see of it.
Okay, all right. And
would we notice if it smelled like gunpowder?
It was mentioned that there was a smell of some kind of brimstone about it.
So, yeah, I would tell him that too, and I'll sketch something rough and be like, "This is what it looked like," and this.
You might be familiar with some kind of blasting powder used before, and it might resemble that. But he says, so you may have stumbled into something a little bit bigger than anticipated. I appreciate this information, and actually, it might be to your benefit that the Dark Elf lived.
Well, yeah, because I'm on his boomstick. It's like a hand cannon.
And he
Not
says,
very quiet, but it's cool.
He says, yes, they have access to all sorts of interesting weaponry. I might share some... Go on.
Just drows in general, or this particular group?
He says, you have been paying close attention, I see. Not drow in general, but the group I believe he might be from. I couldn't say which drow it may have been, but because there are some that freely work in this town, and they are perfectly legal, one might say. But then there are those who might ride the line a bit more tightly. They are known as the Bragan Darth.
They're known as what?
The Bragan Darth?
Bragan Darth.
Can you spell that?
No.
Come on, DM, just put it in Roll20 chat.
Seriously, I can't spell it, but let me see if I have it on a listing here. No, it's not there. Hold on. But while I look that up, what did you guys just roll? Break it. Yes, that's pretty much it. Yes. So
Whoever also spelled it, maybe.
all right, BREGAN D' AERTHE. That is crazy. Oh, I can copy. Okay, never mind. Copy. There we go. Paste. There we go. The Earth. Excuse me if you really want to get crazy. He says they're rather unsavory group. It'd be best to stay out of their way. You don't want to get on their bad side. Considering that the one that you pursued, did he? It was a he, yes?
Yeah, pretty sure.
That would make sense.
Well, didn't somebody hit his crotch by chance? If I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
mistaken. Yeah, you know.
He says,
Yes,
Wasn't the-
he was a very male, and if he wasn't, he might not be anymore because he did get quite a shock. And I just point out Griffon.
he says, well, how about this? Were they using magic or melee? Were they using weapons to fight you with, or were they casting spells?
Using weapons to fight us, spells to run away.
Then it was most likely a male. If it was female, they usually have their entire repertoire consists of, typically, at least in their caste system, magics. It's probably fortunate that it wasn't a female after all. But, yes, that is actually very upsetting news. I will have to take steps myself. You don't need to take any further action on this matter. I do appreciate your intervention. And then Yagra says, Davil? And he says, yes, Yagra. She just shakes her head yes. He says, very well then. Says, you all have been of the best assistance I could have possibly imagined. Though it is extremely bad news for me, it does not mean that it will hinder your reward any. And he then pulls out a very small sack of like a little leather pouch, and he opens it up, and he sets it down, and he pulls out of it what is it? Not the dragons. What's the higher one, Robin? You know it.
No, I'm looking at player sheets all the time.
Platinum one. Crap, I can't remember. The Suns?
No,
Yeah, maybe Suns.
Yeah.
I think it was more high than Suns.
Yeah.
Was this?
So he pulls out 20 suns at a time.
It is Sun.
And he pulls out enough for 20 suns for each of you. And says, I believe you've all earned maximum effect. And he says, if you're interested in future contracts with me, I would gladly welcome the opportunity. Though I may instead send a messenger. Perhaps you recall my little winged friend? He says that I might send that again if you don't mind, if you are interested in continuing working with me.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. And I will try not to eat your friend.
And he kind of
He'll
raises
try
an
not to
eyebrow
eat
and
your
says,
friend.
fair enough. Right.
It looks tasty. I'm so sorry.
Says, well, I can't say I've ever had one. I don't think I ever will, though. But yes, I'll try to have it delivered to somebody next to you then instead.
Well, no,
Might
you
be
know,
the best.
I chase stuff. It happens. Speaking of talking animals, what do you know about the Emerald Enclave?
They're another faction within Waterdeep that often are a bunch of do-gooders for the foresty friends. They strive for a balance between nature and the city. They don't do well here in the city.
Yeah, most of the time you try to put up trees and shrubs, people frown on.
Indeed, yes. They are quite silly in that way, but they do have their spies, as most factions do.
Indeed. Awesome.
Are they giving you a hassle, is it?
No, it's just I found a talking cat that I couldn't quite catch. But I don't know. And it tried to eat your little snake friend that one day.
He says, that's strange. I would have expected that more of the Harpers to say anything. But that's, you never know. Anyway, I guess our business here is concluded, unless there's anything else you wanted to share.
No, I believe that is all. And we have somebody to go find, so we should.
He says, right then. Lucky for you, none of you are of elven blood. So have a good morrow, and I look forward to working with you again in the future. And
Same here, Devil. Thanks so much.
and the curtain opens, and Yagra's holding it for you all, and she looks like, you know, like happy and like you guys are all right, you know, type look on her face.
I'm feeling is like
Grumpy
Thanks,
Griffon.
Yagra. You're the best. See you later.
the best being a jerk. Bye.
and as you guys walk away, she actually goes inside behind the curtain.
All right. I guess we need to find some mountain climbing gear now.
Oh my gosh.
So you guys all got, you know,
quests out, like
you guys got 20 suns each.
20 suns each, you said?
Yes.
Oh
my
God.
goodness.
I think the cat wants them as well.
Wow. So
The cats are taking over.
for any confusion, that's about 200 gold's worth.
Heck yeah. It's like we're going to start upgrading some armor and whatnot. And the tavern a bit.
Tavern upgrades, yes. Hopefully, someone.
Maybe.
Probably more or less just fixing up some walls.
And you might want to buy yourself some new clothes there, Robin, since you know
That would be a good idea. I've got to wear fancy clothes.
Excuse me. So, what are you guys doing next? Because you're currently at the Yawning Portal.
So, first we should, get me out of these clothes and into proper ones.
Yeah, we need to make
The rest
our
of the
way to get whatever y'all need, and then we need to go to this, find out where Mount Waterdeep is, and find this monk.
which means that we'll probably need some rope, some anchors, so we can. He's in the mountain.
So, actually, upon you like saying some of these words and stuff, a couple people here and there around the tavern like look over at you every time that like a voice is raised or something. Obviously, your conversation is being overheard at this point by several patrons.
Let's go talk elsewhere and get Slick some new clothes.
I kind of is the guy with the axe still there?
He is.
Yeah, I'm not. I just kind of. I don't know. He just stands out. So I'm like.
Definitely.
I'm
He
just gonna
seems to be
kinda
deep in
sit-
conversation with Durnan, who seems really happy to be talking to this guy.
Is there a spot we could sit?
Yeah, actually,
could,
the
like,
the
pull up
entire
the
bar
stools.
itself is empty except for where he's sitting currently, and everybody's pretty much at tables.
I can say, don't you guys want to know who he is?
I just pushed Griffola. I said, "You talk to people really well. Have a seat." I just smile, like push her.
Okay, I go forward and pull up a bar stool next to guy with big axe.
All right, let's see if I can actually.
I'll sit next to Griffola.
All right, yeah, the guy's pretty much wearing some kind of plate armor, which is really what makes him stand out. That and the big axe, of course.
Does he have like any insignias or anything on his armor? Or
Why don't you make a perception check?
perception? Because I do so well at those.
Like, see how good.
Oh, not too bad. Okay.
Too busy staring at that axe.
More or less, yes, because the axe is very impressive. Hold on a
Very
second.
impressive.
Yes, axe. A-X-E. Thank you.
I like big axe. I cannot lie.
I mean, you can barely look away, really. It's like...
You know what? What? So
He's
was
like,
that
eyes
was,
up here?
was that Alyssa or Mr. Monkey was got the 5?
That was me.
Okay, you are distracted by the axe, and you actually notice on the axe that it looks like it is covered with all sorts of runes as well, and it almost has an imperceptible glow about it. And Griffola, on the other hand, can see that and look past it. And actually, yeah, he's wearing full plate armor, is what it is. My bad. Not half plate or anything. It's full plate armor, but he has the helmet off, and it's on like the seat next to him. What is it that you were looking at about him? I guess
I was looking to see if he had any insignias on
that's right.
his
Okay,
gear.
and he. Only the runes on there. You don't see anything specifically on anything that he's wearing or has out.
Okay. And you said, can you describe him, actually, once more?
I
With
think it's going to tell you his name, but I don't think that's going to hurt. I can share with you this. There you go.
Ah, okay.
Maloon War Dragon.
All right.
And it looks like his nose has been broken in 5 places at some point in the past.
Roger that. So
Okay.
I hop up on the bar stool, kind of like, look over at him sitting next to me.
As you
No.
hop up, he's like telling a story to Durnan, and he makes this chopping motion with his hand and goes, and down it came and off its head came. It was good. And Durnan just goes, I wish I could have been there. Oh man. So, and they both see you hop up, and Durnan realizes that there's customers and suddenly starts acting like he's busy when he's not at all.
I say, oh, no, don't let me stop you. In fact, please do continue.
And he says, I don't think that I've made your acquaintance. And he holds a hand out. I'm Maloon. And he holds a hand out to shake yours.
I say, very nice to meet you, Maloon.
And he gives you a gentle but firm clasp of the hand, and gives you a single shake, and says, Maloon Wardragon. And what do you go by?
I say, my name is Grifella.
He says, a pleasure.
I say, it's a little, I kind of like motion to the armor. Say, it's a little early for this, isn't it? Early in the day for this?
He says, it's never too early in the day for this. And he says, I don't think I've seen you around the Yawning Portal lately. Are you new in town? Do you mind me asking? I don't mean to pry.
I say, is it that obvious?
He says, well, to be honest, I don't see many Svirfneblin around.
I say, well, hopefully, I put my hand up to my neck. Hopefully you're not going to cut my head off.
He says, unless you're a dragon wormling, I doubt it, who is trying to bite my leg off at the time.
I just laugh. I say, it wouldn't do any good. She'd keep talking.
And he turns around and says, oh, care to introduce me to your friends? At this, Durnan is like completely turned around and walked into the back.
I say, yes, sure. This is my friend Nataya, and this is my friend Smoke, and this is my friend Ver.
And he goes to shake each person's hand if they'll have it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll hold out my hand. You hold out your hand.
My paw.
Yep.
Do the same.
And he introduces himself as Maloon Wardragon. And he says, you're a traveling group, aren't you? And he says, are you... And he looks down. He looks kind of like at the portal. And he says, are you guys considering heading down?
I look back at the portal, and I'm like, we saw what came out. We're not going.
But
There's stuff down there.
No.
Have you been down there?
He says, I just got back.
Declan armor.
I'm like hanging on his every word now. I'm like, you were down the portal?
And he says, yes, we were.
We were? Wait, so you didn't go by yourself?
No, but I came back by myself.
Oh no. So, you need new friends.
He says, don't we all?
I just pat Griffle on the head. I'm like, calm down.
We're not doing it.
But you got down the portal.
Follow no.
You guys are no fun. And I say to Maloon, I say, do you see this? Like, no fun at all.
I prefer we keep our party alive.
He says, no truer words have been spoken. I was asked a favor of Obaya, to try and help an adventuring group down there obtain some artifacts, and things did not go well. But I do try to help where I can. Anyway, you best watch it if you decide to go down.
I say, tell me more.
He says, sadly, you'd have to get that from Obaya. And he kind of like nods his head in one direction, and Obaya is the dark-skinned woman who introduced herself to the
I remember her.
Smoke.
Backseat. Yeah,
Yep.
the crazy lady. Tavashi, sorry.
Yeah, she's from some prehistoric island of dinosaurs or something.
My island.
Chult. Yeah.
So what did you face down there?
He said the easier question is what didn't we face?
I say, oh, this sounds so exciting. Are you going
Follow,
back?
we're not going.
I'm like putting my hand over Vern's mouth. I'm like, are you going back?
He said, maybe at some point, but not today. And he says, Durnan there. As Durnan comes out and he hears his name being called, he says, thankfully, he said that him and some people in the tavern took care of some of the leftovers that we had chased out not long since. And Durnan like turns back around and goes back into the back again.
That must be where the troll came from.
You're talking about the troll? There was a troll.
He says,
we killed the troll.
Yes, one of them escaped, and sadly it went in the unintended direction. But Durnan assured me that he finished the job with the help of some tavern people here.
That was us. That was us.
He says, was it now?
It was, see? I think we should go down and support.
Yeah, that was a great welcome to the city. It was the first day we happened to be here. So that was shocking. That's why I said we saw what comes out. I don't really want to go in at this.
And he kind of gives you all like this once over and is like, well, you don't seem to be carrying any weaponry, for you all to have helped him take down a troll with minimal weapons at hand is rather impressive.
Well, it did cost a really valuable bottle of liquor.
He says, well, I'm sure Durnan reimbursed you for that one. And Durnan's
no, it was
still
his liquor,
not there.
Well, I mean, we basically had just met not too long before we got into the city, so and we weren't really prepared for something like. But we're a little more prepared now, just not quite enough to venture down into that area yet.
He says, a wise choice. Ubaya only asks those that have ample experience under their belt to head down, and I only did it as a favor myself, but yes, no more lives need to be lost in this effort.
Oh yeah, she did actually approach us because, you know, we have this furry guy here, and they were talking, and she did tell us if we ever needed extra money or experience to seek her out, but we're not in a hurry for that at the moment.
A wise choice.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I also realized I forgot that my mental note of never let Griffola talk.
What? What kind of mental note is that?
The worst kind, that's what kind.
Never let Griffola talk.
Yeah, never let Griffola talk. Don't let the cat around small children. What's wrong with you?
I just shake my head and I say, well, it was very nice to meet you, but we have a errand to run, so we must get on.
Is that you're going to be here for long?
He says, actually, I need you to, Griffola, I need you to make another perception check.
Ooh. Come on, dice. Be kind. Please.
At least they're not horrid. Just
okay.
meh.
At this point, you notice the edge of an insignia underneath the chest plate, like poking up just up close to the neckline. You can't tell what it is, but you notice that there's some kind of insignia there. Because he's also facing you. You didn't see it before because he wasn't facing you. Meow. But he says, well, if ever you need any assistance, just, you know, be sure to ask the local authorities, or heck, even talk to Durnan here, and I'll be glad to lend a hand should you need it. I mean, it is my job.
I'll say to him, you know, the reason some of us don't have weapons is because not all of us are, you know, hand-to-hand combat types. and I show him my badge, and I say, I recently had to join the Wizards Guild because, I say, I noticed are you a member of a guild yourself? And I point to the little bit of insignia that I see.
And he doesn't make any motion to reveal it, but he says, I see. Well, I am part of the I am part of Force Grey, not Grey Hands. You were told that the Force Grey was extremely small group of extremely powerful adventurers that were basically people that deal with the bad shit.
That explains why they're looking for new recruits. Okay,
He says, so I'm part of Force Grey, but and he looks at all of you and says, if ever you guys decide to, you might want to stop by Blackstaff Keep and maybe introduce yourselves there.
Yeah, funny that. We actually just came from there not too long ago, which we are actually needing to go to Mount Waterdeep. Could you point us in that direction? Grifola, where's your map?
He says, yes, you walk out the door, and it's the big mountain out the door.
Great. We're not familiar with the city still.
He says, not a problem. It's just behind Castle Waterdeep. It should be too difficult to get to. In fact, it's rather close to... was it close to... There's the castle ward. He says it kind of backs up to the Palace of Waterdeep on one side. And he said... Then he kind of leans in, and he got a smile when you said that you guys already went there to Blackstaff Keep. And he says, have you guys talked to Vajra?
Yes.
He says, right. She's been looking for somebody to give this task to. I told her to shove it, but I was a bit busy at the time. You got to be careful with that monk. He's a bit grumpy.
Said.
And he says, let me see your map, and I'll give you a bit better of an idea of where to go. And he kind of gives you a point that's like, I'm gonna like ping it on the map right now.
Hang on. All right. Ping away.
I'm pinging. Yep, there you go. He says it should be in this area here.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, somebody just put a mark there. So there's a circle. It's to the west of the yawning portal.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
That should have made things a little easier. And there you go.
Is there anything, any perhaps small gift or something that we could take to this monk that might make him less grumpy? Perhaps he has a favorite kind of biscuit or fruit or something.
Says, I can't really say, but...
Do you need a new pair of socks, do you think?
He says,
we could take him some of that purple smoky stuff from that one purple smoky place.
He says, I'm sure whatever you bring him he'd be appreciative for. Just don't expect any recompense for it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about ways to make him less grumpy.
Well, I imagine not going there would probably be your best bet, but I'm not as even-tempered for such a person. Anyway, I wish you good luck and have a safe journey. If you need anything, stop by the tower.
Okay, we will. I guess we should be on our way now.
And
to the grumpy monk.
Yeah, he just kind of like gives you all a nod and goes back to his drink. And not long as you guys are approaching the door, you see Durnan coming back out and resuming the conversation with him again.
Durnan's kind of a jerk.
Agreed. He's a bit of a snob, I think. Only talks to like veteran adventurers.
He's all posh and whatnot.
Yeah.
I like his liquor.
I see how he rolls.
I'm just shaking my head as we're walking out of here. I guess we're gonna walk out and head towards the place where the monk is.
Okay. Will you
Is
just
there anywhere that I could buy like a little cake or something?
Yeah, there'd be little cafes or something like that along the way. It's actually in a relatively nice area, so you'd probably find like if you wanted, you could probably find a really nice bakery. Because I mean, Castle Waterdeep is this big castle that's just outside here.
Yeah, maybe I could buy like a pie, you know? That's my plan. Gonna buy a pie. Take it with me.
Actually, map layer. There we go. Oh, Waterdeep. So you want to buy a pie? Okay. Actually, I think I might have how much that is. How nice of a pie do you want?
Medium nice.
2 silver. Or silver equivalents. Doggone it. Freaking money.
Yeah, and
We know what you're talking about, no worries. Shards.
Yes. 2 shards.
So,
okay.
any place I could pick up some common clothes? Just clothes in general.
Actually, there would be probably down Rainrun Street, which is along the way. You'd find stuff there. It actually looks a little bit touristy, but you'd probably be able to find something that would work.
Hey, for the most part, underneath my scale mail. So, what was my order again? What is scale mail?
What do you ask?
Yes,
for?
it is.
Okay.
I
Can you
forgot
grab
my
a
order.
I Heart Waterdeep shirt?
I went to Waterdeep and all I got was this lousy shit.
Pretty much, yeah.
Didn't get any levels at all. No levels, no XP.
Mm.
Are you done now?
I've only just begun.
All right, so you've re-outfitted your ranger, your human ranger, with
How much would it be?
oh right, clothes.
It's free.
No, it doesn't actually say anything for that. I will just say that it's going to probably be about, let's say, a gold piece for an entire outfit. You are just outside of the castle, so.
It's been 2 silver on a pie.
Yeah.
How does it make sense?
Do a little bit of a fine.
It's weird. Each store has totally different rates. I don't know.
Who knows how economics works?
Mhm. Crazy place. All right, so you've re-outfitted your ranger. You've pied up your warlock.
I acquired.
Warlock pie acquired. And you just heading up down the lane to the to Mount Waterdeep. You're muted.
Who is?
Oh, sorry. I thought Lissa was talking. My bad. She's probably just saying something to Mr. Monkey.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Can we just
Everybody good to go? Go see Grumpy
Well-
Monk.
Mm-hmm.
They've asked if we need some climbing gear and stuff.
You were told it would be a
Nah.
very difficult climb and would take a good portion of the day, if not the entirety of it.
I mean, he's got claws. He can climb, right?
What's the name of that thing? What's it?
I guess we would probably stop and get some
Pin
of that mess too.
things?
Now,
Really?
just so that you know,
Safety ropes and whatnot. So that in case one of us falls, we all fall.
just so you know, Maloon more or less pointed out that where that red X is that you guys made a mark on the map, that's the easiest path up the hill. You're going to want to go a good portion up Mount Waterdeep, probably the D on Mount Waterdeep, like the top part of that. There's a small cavern there that this guy's staying in. Bleh. So it's not just there, but he kind of, this may save you some time and effort with taking the route that he suggested.
Okay, excellent. Well, I mean, like I said, I can climb. I got claws. The rest of
Do we got
y'all,
some
I don't know.
coupons?
So do the rest
But
of you want to take or obtain climbing kit or no?
how much would a climb kit
Yeah.
cost?
It'll cost the price of a pie. No. If you're trying to stay in the area, it's probably going to be, because it's a little bit more expensive around here, probably going to be like I'd say maybe 1.5 gold per person. And you're getting like a grappling hook, you're getting a hammer, pitons, whatever you call them.
I think it's actually called pitons.
Okay, 50 feet of rope.
I will buy 2
Okay,
and give 1 to somebody else.
there you go.
Who wants it?
Yeah, I just point at Vern and say, "Give it to him."
Okay.
Bird. This is
Okay,
for
sure.
you. Happy birthday.
Trying to remember which group this was from. No, not that one. It was... No, you guys talk to the horse. Yep. Oh, right. That was the Grey Hands mission. Okay, sorry. So, you
crud.
you are headed that way, and it looks like the road ends down by the Reach Road. But it does look like there are some other paths and such. And it actually looks like there is a path that leads along exactly where Maloon pointed. That kind of goes up there. It looks a bit rough, but, you know, it's going to be the climb. So, I take it you're all just going to head up then? You're going to have 2 climbing kits, and the other 2 are going to just climb without those kits, or kind of half borrow the other person's stuff?
We got, Natea and I got kits as well.
Oh, okay. All right. So everybody's got kits. So then...
And I have an issue.
What's that?
And I have an issue.
What is this issue?
I'm over my carrying capacity.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, you're just over your light load carrying capacity, I'd imagine. Right?
Yeah, consider I'm still carrying gold bars on myself, though.
Well, you could probably say that some of these things you could safely leave back at the manor if you like.
I should have. I didn't.
Yeah, we'll just say that you did, because I would imagine that you're walking out the door and you're like, oh god, this is a lot of stuff to carry around. Maybe I leave it there. So if you have a few things that you want to leave there, that's fine. So let's have you all make Constitution saving throws.
What?
This is going to be for the endurance and exhaustion of climbing up the mountain. Now here's the thing. The DC is going to be halved because of the fact that you guys have climbing kits, and you get advantage for for getting a better and safer route from Maloon. So let's see. I see 3 con saves. Okay. Natea. Okay, 4 con saves. You're all fine.
Wow, everyone has about the same.
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is, the original DC was 12. So you just need to make a 6 with advantage. So you guys are good. So you arrive with no exhaustion levels, but you are all tired. And it did still take a good portion of the day, just not quite as long as anticipated because of the stuff that you guys had for it. And you come across a small opening at some point along there and it seems that the path just ends there. Like, this path has been used a lot by probably this monk. And there's a doorway with a simple, kind of half-ragged curtain across the front of it. There you go.
Do we knock on the curtain?
I don't know, do you?
I start wafting pie scent towards the.
We'll press the digitation of the air.
I brought pie. Everybody loves pie.
Guess we'll call out and, like, what was it, Habam or something?
Halam.
Yeah.
Halam! Hello!
All right, hold on one second. And I will show to players. Right, let's make sure there's no notes on here. No, there isn't. All right. So if you're calling Halam and saying hello, then you hear from inside a voice say, "Go away."
I have a pie delivery for a Mr. Hlam.
He says, "I'm not interested."
It's a free pie.
I would like for you to make a persuasion check.
But we've come bearing the good news.
Oh, nope.
Did you roll? I don't see anything. Kashka?
No, did it not work?
Wait.
The last thing I see
Roll
is
20
say is
just went down.
Constitution. Oh, roll 20 went down?
Yeah.
What'd you get, Kashka?
I mean, I got a 19.
Come on.
No, I got a natural one.
A natural 20, of course.
A natural 1 for 4 total. Oh, there it goes. It just popped in.
Okay.
Okay. Ouch.
Yeah.
So yeah, he pretty much just says, "Go away. Not interested." Doesn't seem interested in your pie.
I just say, no, we need to speak to you. We were sitting here by Vajara.
He says, "Then I'm definitely not interested."
Well, we need to speak to you either way, so we're coming in. I'm just gonna walk in the.
Okay. There's you see the old man. He's just sitting there. There's like a small cindery fire that seems to have some kind of opening going up somewhere into the rock face. It's a relatively cozy spot in here. It's almost like a yurt, but a yurt-like atmosphere. But instead, it's stone in most places and cloth in others. He seems to have kind of insulated it quite nicely in here.
Told you we should have brought some of that purple smoky stuff.
And he says,
And
"What do you want?" And he doesn't look very happy.
Well, we're glad that you're wearing pants. And Vajira wanted to know if you had any information about threats to the city.
He says, "There's always threats to the city. What do you want?" He's not even looking at you. He's like tending to cooking something over the fire, it would appear. Or the cinders, because there's no real open flame. It's just like hot coals.
I kind of sit down and start eating my pie. I say, look, we don't really want to be here any more than you want us to be here. So, can we just, like, have this conversation in a civil way? And, I mean, you're still welcome to share my pie. I've got, like, a handful of it. We're kind of like, if you would like some pie.
And he kind of comes closer to you and takes a sniff of the pie. Make another persuasion check.
So it's quite tasty. Oh, please.
Oh, nice.
And you actually see a glint in his eye, and he seems to just gently take the pie from you. And he's like, like kind of like touching it to his tongue and stuff, and then he's like, "Oh,
yeah,"
and he's like, "All right, well, You can just tell her this then. And he gets this kind of crooked grin on his face. And he says, Evil's twin hides its face for now. Expect that to change before winter's end. Take that back to Vajra. And
Wait, can you-
I'll put it in chat, don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
Copy that and paste it.
Yeah, all right. So winter is coming.
God damn it.
He says, winter is always coming. And he kind of like puts the pie in his mouth, and you notice he doesn't look like he actually has any teeth.
That's okay. It's a fruit pie. So,
And yeah, actually, it's like a very soft pie, and I think that's what really sold him on it, the fact that it would be easier for him.
I just kind of nod my head, and I walk over to Griffola. I pick up her pie, and I just hand him the whole thing. I said, "Thanks, we'll be out of your hair now."
And he just takes it and just kind of turns his back and just goes about what he's doing at this point.
I
Let's go.
look forlornly after the pie, and then I go, I kind of look behind him and go, "Oh my God, I've never seen a spider that big."
He says, "I have." Nom, yeah.
So he doesn't turn.
Grabbing the
Not
back of
at
the
all.
shirt. Come on, let's go. We'll get you a new pie.
Yeah, go ahead and make a deception check. Go ahead and make a deception check.
Get you a 2.5 silver pie.
Ooh, 2.5 silver.
Ooh, okay, hold on a second. He's got a character sheet, so I can roll this crap. Let's see. All right, that would probably work.
We'll get you a 2 silver pie and then a extra side of like wood topping for.
You see him like actually like kind of look over his shoulder at you after he says that, and he just kind of like starts doing one of these, like looking around a bit, like he was putting on a brave front. He's looking around for a spider at this point.
So when he the first moment that he looks around, I swipe a slice of pie and run out the door.
Okay. Make a dexterity check.
Greedy bastard.
Okay. All right.
Even if I just get like a handful, I've just got a handful of pie and I'm just shoving it in my mouth.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So so you go to grab the pie and you get it. And he tries to stop you and can't because you're too nimble. So
You made out with the pie.
Yeah, so I do laugh a little bit, like I kind of chuckle a little bit as I skip out the door with this slice of pie.
he says, "Thank you for the pie."
Before we leave, I would like to do a perception check, see if I notice anything odd in the cave.
Go for it. You see that there are holy symbols adorning the walls, devoted to Tyr, Tyr. There are a lot of it's a very clean and plain living that he's got here. He's just basically got like an area to store some stuff, a place laid out where he sleeps, this little fire pit that he's got going on, and it looks like he's got a few different simple types of weapon racks or curl like wraps, leaning up against a dresser or something. But that's pretty much it.
All right, awesome.
And he does. He has similar, like a tattoo on the back of his head of Tyr, the symbol of Tyr as well.
I'm just gonna head back out.
Okay.
Outside, I've just got pie in my face.
I would like you to make an intelligence check.
Who?
You.
What did he do to my pie?
You're gonna be eating bud.
You start wondering, did he let me take that pie?
I decide I don't care. I gotta stay.
Yep, and then you're like, pie.
If I ever want to learn more about Tyr, I'll come see you.
And you actually hear echoing down as you guys are leaving. Please don't.
We'll try to avoid it.
Yeah, we're gonna, I guess, go back out and I guess. When did we start going in there? It'd be pretty late in the afternoon, or?
You guys started going in there basically just before noon.
Okay, so we should have time to make it back to the Blackstaff Tower.
Actually, as you guys were up there, because it took you most of the day to get up there. The sun is starting to set a little bit as you guys are starting to make your descent.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah.
We're climbing in. Well, some of us are all right.
So
What do you mean some? Everyone but.
So did you guys want to continue down the mountain at this point, or did you want to do something else?
I mean, he's got a torch.
I can't see in the dark. Oh wait, yeah, I can. I forgot. Sorry.
I believe your ranger friend there may have an ever.
I'm the only one who has issues.
Well, you just need to take the
Did
cap
you not
off.
bring your torch? Yeah.
Yes, that is true, but that doesn't mean I can hold it as well.
Sure you can. Coming down is always easier and quicker.
I just take a piece of the rope and cut it, and I take his torch and I tie it around his pants and tie the torch to it. Like there, open it all.
I would like you to make a perception check as you guys are setting up to start rappelling down the mountain.
All of us?
Yes, please.
Ah. The black
It didn't actually burn, does it? It's just light.
This actually makes sense because it's kind of dusk, so therefore it's messing with a lot of the dark vision in the group. But the human in the group,
The one that has no night vision.
Vern, well, like I said, it's dusk. It's not nighttime yet. It's dusk. He's able to make out that there are some large, four-legged, flying creatures not far in the distance, towards the direction of Castle Waterdeep, which you can actually see the tops of from here.
Well,
Yay, we get to.
well, I mean, we either go for it and hope they don't notice us, or
Well,
we
he's
stay here.
he's the only one that sees it.
Oh yeah, are you gonna tell him? Okay, we're just gonna keep going then.
Let's see which way. Guys, not sure what exactly it is, but something's by the castle.
People? I mean, it's a castle.
No, it's flying.
Is it a horse?
Is it a bird?
Dragon.
I can tell you it has 4 legs.
It's a dragon. Okay, let's go slay it.
There's more than one.
Oh. Pegasus? I haven't seen that book. Well, we could either stay here and wait to be eaten, or go forward and fight and be eaten. I prefer to go out fighting, honestly.
And then we can eat it.
Can we go with option 3, back to Lam's place?
No, he smells.
He actually
Yeah,
did a little bit.
dragons also smell. They smell
I
like...
can understand why.
Yeah.
It was a
Only
very
for children
clean
in a
place,
cave.
though. It was very clean.
But old
Visually
people
clean.
smell no matter what.
Dragons don't brush their teeth, I'm just saying.
Come on, let's just go. We'll see. We'll try to sneak past them, as I say, with my full chainmail on.
I kind
So
of
you
prefer
go
we
first.
kind of
Sure.
not.
I will be right behind you.
I guess we're gonna keep going. Hopefully, Vern, keep an eye out. Maybe you can see what they are closer we get. So I'll just push him in front of all of us.
All right, so go ahead and start making Constitution saves again.
What do you mean start me?
Yeah. That's
Prod.
Come on, dice. Please.
My dice don't like me.
Oh dear.
Nope.
They don't like Koshka worse.
That is
The first one was smoke as usual, and the second one was
fluff.
All right, so the night travel as well as the paranoia of the flying creatures in the distance seems to have taken a toll on a good portion of the group. So let's see, what was the not that one. Got so many handouts here. Oh, let's see. Oh, ouch. Hold on a second here. I wasn't expecting.
Oh,
Oops, I did the wrong thing. What? Did you guys see the roll?
yeah.
Yes.
4.
Okay. Yep. On a D4. Yep. Okay.
That means we're gonna get
Alright, who fell?
reward.
So, you guys get about halfway down, and Natea seems unfazed. She's like, "Come on, guys, let's just go." And she's kind of like pressuring the group a little bit. Most of you are like lagging and trying. You're like, climbing was a lot easier than it is to descend all of a sudden, because it just seems a lot easier going up than down. I don't know, because you guys keep on like skipping steps and like sliding off of this and that. So everybody but Natea gets 4 levels of exhaustion
What?
on the
What does
way
that-
down from this.
That's insane.
Uh-huh.
What does that mean?
That means that you have disadvantage on ability checks. Your speed is halved. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. And your hit point maximums are currently halved.
Fudge.
This has been a very taxing effort. In fact, you guys get most of the way down, and then at some point, you end up just stopping because it's just so difficult to get back down. You realize this is not the same way we took to get up here. And you also need to all start making perception checks again. Please make perception checks.
I feel a
It was nice knowing
party
you.
killed. I still feel a TPK coming up.
Okay, so all of you can see, and Robin, I need you to make a history check.
Fred. One thing I'm horrible at. Yep, I thought so.
Griffins coming. Robin, or not Robin, Vern. Something niggles in the back of your head. You're like, something familiar about this. I should know about griffins. There's griffins in the city. I should know about this. I don't know. I can't remember. But there seem to be griffins with riders on them approaching you, and they're not far off.
You guys see what I'm seeing, right?
I see feathers, son.
Is there anywhere to hide?
You're mostly out on a rock face. You could try to hide. You've got a very small ledge you're on right now.
I'll just stand in front of everybody and be like, well, just be prepared for anything, and I'll just have my hand on my weapon.
Okay.
I'm going to. I'm going to back away.
I got a knife out.
Okay.
I'm backing away. I'm going to back 30 feet away from my current position.
Okay.
Like going back up whatever path I took.
You're basically climbing back up the mountain then.
So
You're on a small ledge right now.
Mhm.
You can continue climbing down the mountain or climbing up the mountain, but there's a small flat ledge that you guys kind of just stopped on because you were just all so exhausted.
can I throw myself off the ledge? Because that's the best option.
I'm going to try to keep my dagger hidden a bit.
Okay. And Vern?
Just questioning self of who the griffins are.
Okay. And Griffola?
1 moment, caller.
Mhm.
I'm going to ready a spell. If there is any kind of like aggressive action towards us, if it looks like we're going to be attacked,
Mhm.
then I will release a spell.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a defensive posture.
Okay. So as you guys watch, there's a group of 5 griffins with 5 riders, and they all seem to be approaching your area. They were previously kind of like just panning the area in the distance, and then they seem to. It looks like they caught vision of you and started heading in your direction. And one of the 4 of them are staying still. One of them starts approaching, and they seem to have some kind of light on a long lance. Can't tell if the lance itself is lit or not. But they call down from a good distance off saying, "Ho there!"
I just yell back, I'm like, hey, yourself.
He says, "Are you in need of assistance?"
Well, yeah, actually, my companions here are having trouble. We're just needing to come back down, the mountain. These guys are having a little bit of trouble, a little tired. They got little legs.
You're yelling this at him right now, yes. And he says, "Hold on then." And he starts coming like a bit closer. And he says, "Make sure to get a hold of something. We can... There's wind being thrown from the wings." And you can see as this guy gets closer, his lance is currently alight, like it's had a light spell cast upon it. And he's dressed in the city guardsman's outfits.
Oh,
Sure,
come on.
Bob.
We can't get rescued off the mountainside. That's just embarrassing.
Seriously, mountain rescue.
I'm like, I just look at you guys. I said, I can make it down. You guys cannot. So hold on. So I'm just going to kind of back up as far as we can, hopefully out of the range of the wind.
He says,
I'm like, "Hi, hold on."
he says, "Is anybody injured?" And he's kind of like a little bit lower than you guys are right now, and you can see he's dressed to the nines as far as guards look right now. He probably came from the palace, but the Griffin guard. At this point, I know that Robin had to step out, but at this point, Vern would be like, "Of course, the Griffin guards. Oh.
I just look at, and I was like,
They're
like,
part of the
no.
protective force of the city."
I was like, no injured, but they're pretty tired from climbing.
He says, "We could carry each of you one at a time. How many are you?"
There's 4 of us.
He says, "Well, then you're in luck." And he kind of like does a wave for the others to come in. And he says, "Prepare each person, and we'll just drop you down the edge here."
Okay.
Don't drop us.
He says,
Let's
"It's a
go."
figurative term."
I'm just like, okay, everybody, come on. And I just like get Griffola first. I'm pulling her over, so she's like,
I'm kind of like, I'm like half hesitating because first, I don't want to be rescued. It's just embarrassing. But second, I really do want to ride a griffin.
Actually, what he then says, they're going to be picking you up with their claws, so please try not to move.
Okay, this is different. This is not how I imagined it.
I just look at Smoke and I'm like, do not touch their feathers. Leave their feathers alone.
Oh no,
No, do not.
Oh, this is gonna go so bad and so well.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Not. I just keep pointing at him while we're waiting or we're getting picked up. Don't touch.
All right. So, the guy that's been talking to you appears to be a little bit like dressed up a little bit nicer. Apparently, he's some kind of captain, and the other guys are part of his complement. And he kind of makes a wave of the arm. One of the guys comes up, and as you're telling Smoke, Natea, don't you be grabbing any feathers on these guys. Suddenly one of them just like picks you up and you're like, whoa, and just grabs you over the shoulder and just yanks you away. And you're like suddenly up in the air and very far away from the edge. Next griffin comes in and it grabs, actually it probably would grab Smoke next. And
I'm going after the feathers.
Okay. Just describe how you're going after the feathers. Are you letting it grab you? Are you going to grab it? What?
There's a lot of grabbing going on.
Indeed.
There is a lot of grabbing going on. Well, at some point during the flight, I will try to pluck a feather.
Okay. All right. So it picks you up in its talons. It's got really huge claws. And they've got a good hold on you. And you feel very secure. Your arms are kind of like this. And it's got you like over this. But you can still like kind of move your hands about if you really wanted to. Or, you know, like your forearms. So we'll come back to that. In the meantime, the third one comes in. And swoops up Vern there. And just nabs him off. And then the fourth one comes in and goes to grab Grifola. It seems like it tries to grab for you, but misses and goes off. Like it tried grabbing, but you were a little bit shorter than it anticipated.
I'm like, excuse me.
And then the captain just waves that rider off and says, hold on, come closer, come out on the edge. He just meant to wait because right now you're up against the wall. And he's like,
Come on, Grifola, it's not that bad.
he says, I can't take you away from the wall. We can't get that close.
I'm kind of like closing my eyes, taking a little step forward.
And then you see him go, yeah, like this. And the griffin goes down and actually lets out a little bit of a shriek as it does it. And it just swoops like at an angle coming in and just grabs you very deftly. Lifts you right up like you're nothing and carries you off. By the way, Vern, you have been picked up as well. So all four of you are currently being carried by the shoulders by these griffins and are currently on your way down. They're like circling down to go down to the base of the mountain. And you, Smoke, wanted to grasp for some feathers.
Yes, I did.
I would like you to make a dexterity check.
A little more forgiving than I thought it would have been.
8. Okay, so you try and grab one of those feathers and you realize you can't bend your arms far enough to get the freaking feathers. You're like, and it actually recognizes that you're like trying to grab at it, and it kind of like widens its grip on you so that you've got even less to work with on your hands now. So you're a little bit more restrained now than you were before. No feathers, but there's still another chance. Yeah, this is what you're thinking. There's still another chance, right?
Oh yes.
When
I
you
can
get to the
kick out.
ground and it lets go, it's on, right?
Hell yeah, it is.
All right, so you guys are all headed down, and it takes 5 minutes maybe, because it seems like they're riding wind currents properly to get down the mountainside without just making a dive and scaring the bejesus out of you guys. And it gets down to the end of the road, the reach that you guys actually came up at, and they actually do a lot of when they're coming in. They just gently.
Actually, we live over there.
They gently actually let you down so that you're. It's like you just took a step off of a step. You know, they really set you down very gently, and they proceed to like land on the side. So, Smoke. As it's setting you down, did you want to do it then? What did you want to do?
Yeah, let's do that.
Don't do
Make a dexterity check. Okay. You get one, and in the process, it actually kicks you over.
Worth it.
It's a very small feather, though, because it came off of it like the edge of its leg. And it's got like it's silver on one side with black stripes, and on the other side it is all white. And it actually shrieked a little bit, knocked you over, and it just proceeded to like and kind of gallop off a little bit because it didn't want to be near you after that, thinking that you might have pinched it. The driver or rider doesn't seem to, just like questioning what is going on with the griffin. So they all land, and the captain ends up talking to you guys and says, "So sorry about if there was a rough ride there, but it's our job to make sure to keep people safe in this area. Are you all okay then?" And the griffins all seem to be a little bit unsettled at the moment, so he's kind of keeping them at bay from you guys. They're just constantly stomping and stuff and chomping at the bit a little.
Yes, we're good now. Thank you very much for the lift. We would have ended up having to stay up there if you hadn't saw us.
He says, "Did anybody get injured on the way down? Do you need any medical assistance?"
No, I think we're good.
Oh, thank you.
He says, "All right then," and he just kind of makes a motion with the spear.
Before he does that, I'm like, can I? And I'm like reaching for a griffin. Can I give
And
scratches?
he says, "These are creatures of
scratches?
war. I wouldn't suggest that."
Oh,
He says, "But you might be able to come by sometime and visit some of the stables in the future. Until then," and he motions
he's
up.
like, damn tourist.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like, that's a good way to lose your arm. But he motions up with his the lance that he's got, which actually is more like a really long spear. You realize at this point, let's see, Griffola, do you have a light spell or anything like that?
No, I do not.
Why don't you make an Arcana check?
I know very little about Arcana.
Okay. Yeah, never mind. It seems that the blade of the spear itself is what's glowing more than anything else. But so he takes off, and the group like takes off all at once. One of them is a little bit more upset than the others, and seems to like constantly, looking over its shoulder over at where Smoke was on the way out, and then they fly off.
I run up to Natea. Look, he's so pretty. Look.
And you're feeling extremely exhausted at this point. You're like so tired. You're like, how the frick did she make it up there? Frickin' Asimar. She's been using her wings, hasn't she?
Yeah, I just shake my head and slap him in the back of the head. I said, you know, they probably could have bit your arm off for that.
But they didn't, and that's what counts.
I said, let's just go. Can we look around and see if there might be like a ride anywhere?
There are probably going to be some drays, not on the Reach, but there will be down on the main road of, is it Lackpurse Lane, I think, that runs the course. You could probably find one out there.
Yeah, we'll go. I said, let's go down this way and catch a ride home because you guys look like crap.
Everybody's moving really slow. You're feeling like
I'm just
crap.
like, come on, let's go. That was so fun. We got to ride the good food.
I'm like, can I just sleep here? This looks fine.
Yep, pretty much.
I have a tent.
You brought your
Let's do
tent.
that.
What? I didn't know how long it would take.
All right, so you guys find a dray, and the driver offers to take you back to your house. You know, the usual one nib. So, unless you guys had anything else in mind,
Deep.
okay. So they'll get you back to Trollskull Manor, and it'll actually just be around like 10 p.m. by the time you get there, maybe 11 p.m., which wasn't too bad, considering that you guys were able to be flown down the mountainside. So.
Let's open the door. Bonnie, we're home.
And she kind of like wakes up. She was like kind of dozing a bit. She's like, "Oh, sorry. I didn't know when you would be coming home, so I just have some leftovers here." And she just pulls out some regular stuff, nothing hot, you know. But she's like, "Did you want me to cook some stuff up?" And she's just kind of rubbing the sleep out of her eyes.
No, that's okay. Look at what I got. And I show her the griffin feather. Isn't it pretty?
She goes, "Yeah," and she looks at it and goes, "Is that one of the Royal Guard's griffin feathers?"
Uh-huh. Isn't that great?
And she goes, "I wouldn't advertise that you have one of those."
But it's so pretty.
She says, "I have no doubt." I agree.
I just push him. I'm like, go to bed. I said, you all need to go. Everybody needs to go to bed. I said, they're not hungry. They need to go to bed.
I'm like crawling up the stairs.
Just pulled out his sleep bag and just crawled in on the floor.
Indeed. So, where is it? Oh gosh.
What? You guys don't carry sleep bedrolls on you?
So you guys probably.
Or is it to sleep in the bed?
Yeah, you
I
guys.
just found a bed. There's like a ton of rooms, so I just found one and slept in it.
Mhm.
That's too far away.
So you guys end up having a good night's sleep. Even Natea is feeling better for getting the sleep in, even though she's not as exhausted as the others. And you all lose a level of exhaustion, so you're down to level 3, which means you just have disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws, and your speed is halved. Your hit points are back to normal. You're all pretty much knackered. Do you want
That's
to
insane.
continue going on with other stuff, or did you want to spend more time resting?
More time resting. We have nothing pressing right now.
Just sleep it off.
All right.
I mean, we have till winter to give the message to the ladies. So it's
It's winter. No,
I'm gonna kind of go out of the tavern and walk around a little bit, and, while everybody's sleeping.
okay. More or less, it's just you guys would be taking it easy for the next few days. That would more or less be it. So if you do the next 3 days, you guys are back to normal. No more disadvantage, speed halved, nothing like that. It's all normal again. So after 3 days of licking your guys' bruises and wounds and such, you all feel normal again. You wake up fresh and new as a daisy, and you guys have grown to appreciate Bonnie's cooking more and more, especially the fact that she's been able to get this stuff for you.
And I feel as if our urge to get rid of smoke because his bragging of feathers increased.
Wow.
What level of feather urge has risen? All right. So it's been half a week since you guys were out. What do you want to do?
I guess we should head to the tower. The tower and give her the message.
Blackstaff Tower?
Yes.
Okie dokie then. Let's open this up. And I think that's over in the... Oops, that's too far north. Actually, that was... Yeah, there it is, Blackstaff Tower. Right here. Yeah, you just pinged it. You got it. Over by the green arrow. Close to it, at least. Which actually, I just realized, I don't know if you guys can see that. Can I see that? Oh, actually, I need to put that there too. Hold on. There you go. Halls of Justice have just been revealed. You guys know that because that's where he wrote the Magister's office. All right, so you go to the Blackstaff Tower. Same as before, there's this massive tower there. Strangely, it looks like there's another tower since last time you were here 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Just to the right of it,
Tower.
half as tall. As you guys approach, it looks like there's a third tower. Okay.
Are there more towers than last time?
Like, I think so. Oh, we just walk up to the guards, I guess, and tell them we're here to talk to Bajera.
Okay. And they let you in, same as before. You enter in, and it's an extremely large room. Black and white marble checkerboard floor tiles, this huge space, and you see Vajra is already there, standing in the center, waiting with her staff. And as you approach, some chairs become visible.
Oh no, not this again.
Yay, chairs!
And she says, "Welcome back. How was your journey?"
It was great.
We got carried by a griffin.
We
Says,
we made. Yeah, we made it to the monk. He wasn't as bad as everybody says he.
And she actually opens both eyes rather wide and says, "Really?"
Yeah, but he did give a message, and then I relay the message that he gave us.
And she looks very confused by the message. And she says, "Well, I can't say that I expected anything different from him, honestly. This is about as helpful and cryptic as he sent last time. Thank you."
Why do you ask him this stuff if all he's going to do is give you cryptic messages?
What did he say last time?
She said, "It's not important. I'll take this under advisement, though. Thank you very much for this." So that seemed a simpler task than anticipated for you. She kind of looks all of you over, surprised. Pleasantly surprised.
Well, we may, regardless of what you may have thought of us before, we're pretty good people, and we do know how to talk to those that are different.
So maybe you shouldn't judge books by their covers.
I just put my hand over Grifola's mouth. I'm like, well, yeah, we talk to people that are a little different, so we seem to,
We're a band of rejects for rejects.
So I'm just like,
Yes, we're the rejects.
Oh, God.
Yeah. On our adventures, we also ran across a gentleman by the name of Brigan.
Of who?
Maloon.
Maloon, I'm sorry. I was reading the other thing on my paper. Sorry. Maloon.
She says, yes, he's He's a good man, Maloon. Did he offer you help? And she gets this like wry smile on
He
her face.
promised to take me to accompany me down the portal.
She says, I wouldn't be surprised. He likes to help others. I wouldn't be surprised if you'd find him helping kittens out of trees. So, but
What's wrong with that?
she says, oh, nothing. It's just that he's just as fierce as he is friendly. Couldn't have a better man next to you in a battle. And she says, I would like to offer you then, all of you, membership into the Grey Hands, which is the entryway into Force Grey. And she opens her hand, and in it is little gray hands. They're kind of like these little pins of a sort. You can just pin them onto your outfit if you want. And she holds them out for each of you to take if you want.
Sure, I'll take one.
Yeah, I will take one as well.
Yeah,
I've got this collection of hands.
yeah, I'll take one.
Okay. And she says, so what this represents is that you are part of the city enforcement. If you see people doing wrong, be sure to give it the proper attention. If you're unsure of what to do,
so we can stab him?
Do you actually say that?
No.
Okay. So she says,
There's the thought bubble above Smoke's head suddenly.
as you are part of the Grey Hands now, it does not mean that you are experts in all that is justice. Feel free to seek help where you need it. Magisters are around the city wherever you may look. They are likely to be there. So,
it's a little creepy.
yes. And she actually says, it is.
I mean, sometimes I like to bathe.
Says,
not often, but
says,
sometimes.
Maybe not that far, but still. If you do need assistance, don't be afraid to ask for it. And she says, welcome to the Grey Hands. And on doing so, she like makes this motion with her hands where she like kind of parts like this. And the entire room, the entire room changes completely into like this bustling, massive, like Harry Potter, office area that you guys are in, and you're kind of standing in this like entryway. And it looks like she just dropped this illusion that you guys had been seeing the entire time.
Very sneaky. Kind of almost as sneaky as those extra towers you're building outside.
And she kind of gives you a wink.
So what's up with the extra towers?
And she says, you'll see when you leave. And she says, and she says, as part of the Grey Hands, you should see things a bit clearer now.
No, not gonna
And she says, I may send for you again should I need your assistance. Until then, welcome and congratulations. Not many make it into the Grey Hands, and extremely.
Can I submit a request for expense reimbursement for one pie, please?
She says you can always submit one, but don't expect it.
I just nod my head. I'm like, thank you very much. I said, we'll be on our way. And I start heading.
She says, oh, one quick question. Who is the head of the residence that you own? Troll Skull? And she actually like reaches over on this desk that's next to her, and she grabs a piece of paper, and she kind of like holds it out a little bit and says, I believe it's Troll Skull Manor?
I just slowly turn around. I'm like, yes?
She says, as part of the Grey Hands, your monthly costs for the residents. Hold on one second. Says for guild licenses and contracts, for upkeep on anything in the building will be waived as part of the city. And if you're in need of any guild contacts and so on, feel free to make requests at the front desk. And she actually motions, and there's a front desk up there.
So wait, is she saying we can have work done for free?
She's saying that your current, basically, instead of paying like a taxes fee, like a property tax, that's being waived, basically.
Okay.
Nice.
That saves money to actually, repair the place.
And she
Yeah,
said,
I'm like-
now, getting work done, if you so desire, to a place will still cost you that. But any guild upkeeps might be waived as well. So, guild expense upkeeps may be waived as well.
Hey, that means that your Magician's Guild thing will be free now. If only there was a Thieves Guild.
I just shake my head. I'm like, thank you. We're gonna be on our way now. I was like, that's nice to know as well, because that'll help us a lot so we can get this tavern up and going.
And she says, best of luck to you. And just kind of says, but I have other things to attend to, so if you'll excuse me. And she kind of stops leaning on the desk that she was leaning on, and she starts making to turn around and head out. Or head the other way, at least.
I guess we'll go get the information from the front desk.
Right. So, what you guys doing?
Going to the desk.
Okay. You're at the desk. There's 3 people there, 2 men and a woman. They are all human, and 2 of them are currently busy. The woman is not. Well, by busy I mean they're talking with somebody else currently. The woman is not busy with anybody, though she looks like she is currently doing some kind of filing or something. And they look like they all have the same position, just, there's like 3 seats at this large desk.
I guess we'll go over, talk to her, get all of our paperwork and stuff that we need, and be on our way.
As you approach, the woman like stops filing and says, "Oh, hi, how can I help you?"
Yeah, I just tell her I guess we need to register our property with you guys for
And she
waived
said,
fees.
You're part of Troll Skull, and she actually reaches over and grabs this folder that was over by one of the guys and pulls it over to her and says, "Manor, Troll Skull Manor, right?"
I just lean towards Vern and go, how does she know?
Pretty sure that we're the only ones who actually have somewhere.
Actually,
No, we're not much information they have about Troll Skull.
you weren't there last time when they talked to her, but it is a requirement to be part of just about any of the guilds to own property in Waterdeep. But for most of the guilds. But she does say, you don't need to worry, that's already been taken care of. Welcome to the Grey Hands. I understand that you were just accepted today.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, and she says, I'm Jennifer. And she says, if you guys need any assistance with anything, feel free to come back and let me know. Otherwise, did you have any other questions?
Yeah, do y'all have like a handbook or something? Basic rules, codes of conduct? And what information do you have about Troll Skull Man?
She says, currently what they gave me regarding the taxes, the guild taxes being waived for the property. That's all that I have available to it. But if you're looking for information regarding the current laws in the city and such like that, there was an excellent guide that was put out not long ago by, what was that? He was such a crazy dressed man.
Yeah, Volo. He's
yes,
nuts.
Volothamp Geddard. I remember. Yes,
Of course it would.
We commissioned him to make some pamphlets. So I would recommend you just grab one of those on the way out then.
Yeah, we've already ran across Volo Tryhard. I think we got all the information we need for now. We'll be back if we have any questions or if we need to file paperwork for help for, getting this tavern up and going.
She says, all right, well, have a good day and congratulations.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm just like Volo.
Bye.
Just under my breath. Volo.
All
I
right.
guess, I don't know, head back to the tavern?
When we step outside, I'm like paying extra attention to these towers.
There are no towers. It's just the single massive tower.
I look at everybody, I'm like,
Where are them?
I just walk off. I'm like, I don't know about this place anymore. It freaks me out, man. I'm going home.
I want to go
Illusions.
somewhere the portal. We should ask what's his name about this. Maloon. Crazy tower shenanigans.
Okay. It's obviously an illusion to show that
Yeah, but what's the point,
maybe they want to seem more powerful than they really are. How magic
it is a wizarding academy.
Somebody's always got more magic longer than the other. It's never about the, casting times longer than the others. I mean, come on. I just kind of mumble and keep going.
Actually, Vern, I'd like you to make another history check.
Crap.
Come on, Vern. Come on, man. You're the only one with connections to the city.
Yes, and every history check I've ever done has sucked.
Worst guy.
Did I hit a button? No, I missed a button. Hey, I should have to roll something good.
Okay, you would actually know that often Blackstaff Tower has come under attack many times in the past, so it is often glamored in ways to help make it a less obvious target.
So they're doing it just to seem more threatening?
No, most likely for defensive things. They don't want to be targeted by some outside force. Considering that they run the city security out of one big tower, more or less. They don't want somebody to hit the building with a fireball. they want it to potentially miss. That's just one of the visible protections that you might know of.
I still state they more or less are using it as protection or to seem threatening.
One could do that.
Okay, right, gotcha. Wizarding World of Grey Hands. Okay.
Okay, so where to next, folks?
I don't know. I guess we can go to the portal, see if there's anything happening. We don't really have much to do at the. I'm sure we can get ourselves into some kind of trouble.
Well, I think Vern still has an outstanding appointment with a certain somebody who employed him to take his group, find out about a horse, talk to a man about a horse.
Did we identify any Zent operatives?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the horse. Yeah, well, she didn't really help us any, to be honest. The operatives that she did give us names for, well, the operatives she told us she saw were Devil and the orc.
Yagra and Davil.
Yagra and Davil.
Yep.
So the horse wasn't helpful. It was neat. She was a talking horse, but she likes fresh carrots. We told her you would bring her a bushel of fresh carrots for payment. So sorry.
Wait, so how much is a bushel of fresh carrots gonna cost me?
They're very hard to get.
That would be a modest meal. So I would put that at 3 silver pieces.
Okay, I'll follow that.
She wants a yellow bow.
Maybe we could just turn Yagra in. She's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but if she finds out you turned her in and she comes after you, then we have to fight her. And she's just annoying in a fight. She didn't really do much but lay on the floor.
My mother's calling me again. Hold up.
All right. So, are you guys heading back to the manor? Or are you going to head to the yawning portal?
Okay, she's bugging me, so I think I gotta call it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, it's after time anyway, so we're gonna end
Oh,
it
yeah.
here, and we'll give you guys some time to figure out what it is that you want to do next. So, thanks everybody for coming out. Thank you, players, for playing this evening, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you.
Bye.